Okay, I want to start this off by saying my heart goes out to everybody's family and the whole community of what happened in Florida. It's sad and it's unfortunate and should have never happened. And I wish our own president could have got on TV and just talked like a normal person from his heart. But instead, he was a babbling buffoon that had to look at a teleprompter and couldn't even get that right. Totally no emotion in his voice. Nothing. I mean, it's almost as if he could give two craps less. It's all a formality. What's all this coming to? I mean, we have this happening every time we turn around. Schools, movie theaters, public buildings, like in California. And now we've got it in a gay and lesbian bar. You know, people need to stop and think. The people that are doing this are targeting soft targets, and they're targeting people. And what's sad is the people are not who these sick bastards have a problem with. These sick bastards have a problem with our politicians, with our government, and they end up taking it out on people. You don't never see these shooters going into Senate or Congress. You don't see them going into state meetings. You don't see them going into county commission meetings, city commission meetings. Why is that? It's because them people are all protected, top to bottom, side to side, front to back. They're going after the people that have been disarmed. Now you need to pay attention to that word. The public has been disarmed. They want you disarmed, okay? And this is all turning into a gun control issue. Mark my words. So the discussion I want to start is that we all need to start talking about constitutional carry. You have that right. You were born with that right. And honestly, the Supreme Court affirmed if you're in this country, you have that right, whether you're legal, illegal, documented, undocumented. The fact that you're alive means that the Second Amendment is yours to use. The First Amendment is yours to use. Now, we're already seeing politicians turn this into a political event. And we all need to be smarter than that. We all need to stop, take a deep breath, and ignore what the mainstream media twists, ignore what the politicians say. And we as people, don't matter what color you are, what gender you are, what religion or lack of religion, what sexual orientation you are, by God, you need to stand up and start demanding that the rights that you already have are not infringed upon. And you need to demand that all of these people quit talking legislation and new laws. Well, you know what? They don't even enforce the laws that need to be enforced. There's enough gun control laws on the book, and they admitted publicly the other day, Joe Biden, we don't have time to enforce the ones that are on the books. It's better to just take the guns. Well, you know what, people? There was 50 people killed last night. There's going to be people out there that say it's a fake false flag. Well, it could have been a created event. I'm not going to say that that's not plausible, but I am going to say that there's 50 people dead, okay? That's 50 families that are going to mourn the loss of their family members. Now, if this was a constitutional carry country, there would have been several people in that club that were armed. And there may have been 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 people killed. But I guarantee you there wouldn't have been 50 people killed, for one. And second of all, they wouldn't have been waiting for the cops to blast a hole in the wall to come in there and do something. What the hell is wrong with this country? We're so worried about free education and bumping the minimum wage to $15 an hour and crying because you're working in a hot kitchen and bitching because guns are killing people. Guns aren't killing people. Anybody that believes that has got problems. We're all smarter than that. If you don't like guns, you don't need to own a gun, fine. But you're probably, if you were in that situation last night and the person next to you had a gun, you would have sure as the fuck been appreciative that that person had a gun, okay? Right now, people are so worried about turning this country around. They got pissed off because they had a supposed democratic socialist that they loved that got kicked out of the way by a corrupt politician named Hillary Clinton that's got a higher body count than any mass killer in this country. She has got over 90 dead bodies in the wake of her family's political career. Never been arrested, never been a suspect, never been charged. Nobody's talking about that. You guys want to raise hell because Trump's talking about building the wall? Man, you guys are all getting so focused on shit that doesn't even matter. You're getting outsmarted. You're getting distracted. I mean, you're like the kid with ADHD that's going, oh, look, a shiny orb. We've all been guilty of it. But you know what? I read one thing earlier. Gary Johnson come out and said everybody needs to take a deep breath and give everybody time to figure out what really happened. Don't politicize this. One class act out of how many, okay? I'm impressed. But you know what? Our presidential election isn't going to change anything. Never has, never will. If we as people cannot stand up and demand that our rights that we are supposed to have from the day we're born are protected and not infringed upon, we aren't going to be able to make a rational change through an election. If you can't hold the politicians that you've got accountable now, changing them out with a new one isn't going to do anything. It is way past time to stand up and demand what little bit you supposedly have be left alone. Every person in this country is capable of making a choice on whether they want to exercise their Second Amendment or not. But they should never be questioned on whether they choose to or not, or why they choose to or not. Doesn't matter. And the fact that we're having this conversation over and over and over and over again is retarded. It's insane. What the hell are we going to do about all this shit? It has nothing to do with guns. It has to do with people. It has to do with the fact that a society has allowed people to get away with murder. Literally, all their lives. We got politicians that are running for the President of the United States that has killed people that opposed her family, that has killed people that worked for her family. There's no denying that. We got a president that used the Internal Revenue Service to silence his critics. They don't give a shit. They don't give a crap. Is our government behind some of this shit? I'm definitely starting to wonder. The timing of events couldn't be more perfect. And the narrative that they use to explain everything, I mean, gee whiz. I mean, it's like a fourth grader writes this story and he just took Thorazine and Adderall. It is more frickin' predictable than anything. Are you people gonna keep buying this crap? Is mainstream media gonna keep saying, well, it's domestic terror, or he was mad because he saw someone kissing, so he went to a gay club? Jesus Christ, people. Get the hell over it. What the hell are we going to do to change it? The odds are you're not going to be able to change this mentality in a lot of people. The ball has been in motion for a long time. The only goddamn thing you can do is be ready and prepared to take care of yourself and anybody else around you, if that time comes along, and God forbid, we all hope it doesn't. But we got people talking about gun control and politics. What the hell? What the hell, people? I mean, we got a Border Patrol agency that's got a $200 million a year budget. What the hell do they spend it on? Because they goddamn sure ain't deporting anybody. We got a national security agency that has got an unlimited budget. More supercomputers than the world could ever dream of. Watching every video we make, every post we make on Facebook or Twitter. Capturing the metadata from every phone, every computer. You don't think they knew what the hell was happening? You don't think that they could stop that shit? Really? You don't think, even if it is genuine, okay, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say some genuine dipshit decided he was going to go fucking blast 50 people, okay? And he never said nothing on Facebook, never said nothing on Twitter, never spoke to a friend about it, never nothing. Just legitimately one day decided they were going to do that. Is that plausible? Is it plausible to happen over and over and over and over again in the same way? We're so worried about cops killing black people. We're not talking about black people killing black people. We're not talking about people killing people. We always got to focus on some bullshit. Oh, the cops are killing people. Well, some of it's right, some of it's wrong. But maybe we ought to rethink our whole system. Jesus Christ, I see a flyer about the Austin Socialist Collective, and then I see a post of Venezuela, and what the media is saying is bullshit. I mean, are people so out of touch with reality that they believe everything they can dream up, that they have a special needs for a special right, for a special law, for a special this, a special that? The federal government is so busy cramming transgender bathroom law down schools and states. That's all that shiny little orb that everybody's focused on over here. Meanwhile, your president's signing shit into law that states that the federal government can take control of all resources, livestock, oil and gas, agriculture, They can declare martial law. I mean, really and truthfully, I mean, have you noticed that everything is more about them getting more control and you losing more and more control of your own destiny? You ever notice that the politicians, the government agencies, don't give a fuck about the Constitution or the Bill of Rights? They take an oath. Even your soldiers take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. But it sure is funny, all these government employees, these cops, these politicians, every one of them hates the Constitution until it's time for them to answer to something, and then it's, oh, I plead the fucking fifth. And it only applies to me. I don't have to answer your bullshit. Are we really that stupid? Or are we that powerless to change? 50 people died. People. That's the only label they need. People. How many of them wanted to be able to defend themselves and couldn't? How many of them were denied that option from the minute they woke up that morning until the time they passed over? Think about it. They all had that right as people in the United States of America. That we got politicians, government agencies, dictating which rights you get to use, where, when, how, and who with. And in most circumstances, they're charging you rent to be able to use them. You can't even move about the country in your own car. You got to have a driver's license. You got to have insurance. You got to pay property taxes. You got to buy tags. Do you really think that this is what this country was founded on? That we needed to be told when to wake up, when to be at work, when to go home, when to go to bed, how to raise our kids, how to protect our family. Oh, and you're going to pay us taxes for taking on all this responsibility of your fucking life. It's fucking stupid. We want to talk about immigration. We want to talk about gay rights. We want to talk about transgender bathrooms. We want to talk about gun control. What about fucking politics control? What about government control? Because you know what? They've proven that they don't care about you or me. The NSA, the Border Patrol, the CIA, the FBI, your local police department, they've all proven that they don't know shit, can't protect you from shit. You got a reasonable expectation to get what you're paying for, right? So, I mean, shit. Maybe we need to just tell them, okay, we want a police state. Is that what you want? How many times did I hear the media this morning talking about soft targets, and people are going to start talking about hardened targets, like being in Tel Aviv where you pull into a store and you got soldiers looking under cars with mirrors and dogs sniffing for explosives. We don't need that shit. We just got to quit rewarding idiots. We got to quit giving people free shit. We got to quit taking shit from hard-working people. And we got to allow people to use every tool at their disposal in here, and anything they can dream up and grab a hold of to protect themselves. If a person wants to strap on a pistol, whether it's open carry or concealed carry, when they get up in the morning, doesn't matter which city, which state, That's already your right. People need to fucking wake up and realize that. If you don't want to wear a gun, fine. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of concealed carry. If you gotta dig for your gun, and you gotta hide it because nobody knows it's there, you're not a deterrent. I'd much rather sit in a goddamn bar or restaurant or a fucking concert or uptown with 10,000 people with 10,000 personalities from one extreme perspective to the other, every one of them with a gun in plain sight on their side. Because you know what? There's no doubt. There's no doubt. The lion ain't coming after a lamb at that point in time. So, it's really more about government control right now. And they're so busy about mind and citizen control with their narrative and their laws and their taxation and everything else. Nobody can even stand up for what's already theirs. Can't even fucking enforce the laws that are on the books. Can't even goddamn protect the rights of the fucking people that are already fucking here. But we're gonna write more fucking laws. Why? Because that makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Fuck your warm and fuzzy. It's about reality. God damn. If my 19-year-old daughter wants to carry a goddamn gun, she ought to be able to carry a goddamn gun. I taught my 19-year-old daughter the respect of a firearm. Don't matter who you are. The Constitution doesn't say you got to be 21 years old to carry a gun. The Constitution doesn't say you got to be 21 years old to own a gun. The Constitution says you have the right to keep and bear arms. And you know what? It is time that we push back against the Ninth Circuit Court of fucking California and tell them you can go fuck yourselves. It's time that we push back against the Supreme Court of the United States and say you go fuck yourselves and you stay out of my life. It's time that we tell the politicians you stay out of my life. We pay you. You're elected to take care of shit on our behalf. I didn't surrender control of my life to you. I asked you to manage the affairs of my country when it comes to federal affairs and foreign affairs. I didn't ask you to dictate what I can do, where I can do it, who I can do it with, why I do it. And I goddamn sure don't appreciate you fucking charging me money for every time I do it. No matter whether I'm camping, fishing, hunting, driving my own goddamn car. And if it takes 50 fucking people dying in this goddamn country for people to open their goddamn eyes, I guess that's a cost that the universe thinks that we are supposed to pay as a society. But my suggestion is to all the son of a bitches that are doing this whack shit, if you're not controlled by our government and you're not part of our government, then why don't you attack our government? Quit attacking the goddamn people. Your point's not getting across and you're just pissing people off. Pissing people off. God damn, I think half this country wouldn't even fucking lose any sleep if something like that happened in Congress or Senate in Washington, D.C. But you're attacking the people of this country. The people that are doing nothing except for waking up and living their life every day. And to our politicians and our government, you're doing nothing but to take away from the protections that these people should have. I shouldn't have to call the police because a motherfucker broke in my house and got a gun. Shouldn't have to call 911 and wait on the goddamn police because I'm at a restaurant and some motherfucker comes in there and starts shooting. I shouldn't have to ask for permission to protect myself. After all, I already have that right, don't I? 330 million of us have that right. And maybe it's time for a little civil disobedience. Maybe every motherfucker that owns a gun in this goddamn country needs to just strap it on and open carry for one fucking day just to prove a goddamn point. They might build enough prisons for 330 million fucking people, but they don't have enough of them now. Going out and targeting people is a cowardly pussy act. And I don't care what reason you use. Going out and targeting one person is a cowardly act. Most Americans share a non-aggression principle. Most Americans would never strike out at another human being, no matter how angry they are. But all of you son of a bitches doing this stupid shit, and all of you politicians pulling your bullshit against the people, you're testing people's patience. Testing it. And when you paint the American people into a corner, I promise you, Jack, they're going to come out. I'm sorry all them people lost their lives. Truly sorry. It's unnecessary. I'm angry. But I don't care if you was a Muslim that killed them people. I'm not going to go after no Muslim. I don't care if somebody that's Chinese, black, Mexican, a Jewish, a Catholic, or what breaks in my house. I'm not going to target them fucking people afterwards. But we're so wrapped up as a country, we got so many ignorant fucks that want to talk shit about, well, the Muslims are causing this, the Mexicans are causing this, the blacks, Black Lives Matter, and the cops are causing this. No, people are causing this. And the American public, your inaction or your lack of action towards your politicians and your government and your tolerance of the bullshit that's pushed on you from the government, the police, all these special interest groups, is as bad as you doing that shit yourself, because you're allowing it to happen to you. Shit, we want to talk about all this goddamn gun bullshit. What about Eric Holder? What about the Department of Justice? What about the ATF? What about Obama paying people to buy guns and sending them to Mexico? How many fucking people in Mexico were killed by our government's sponsored guns? But it was a reverse sting. How many people are in prison because government agencies paid someone to go sell dope to a person or to go buy dope from a person? We spend more money and effort in this country to ensnare and entrap our own fucking citizens and then fucking warehouse them away forever. There's a couple different justice systems. There's the justice system for the politicians. They can do what they want. There's a justice system for government employees. They can do what they want. There's a justice system for rich people. You can rape a fucking girl behind a fucking trash dumpster and be out of jail in 3 months. You can fucking beat a person and tase them to fucking death if you're a fucking cop and get 4 years in jail. You can be a fucking person using cannabis to fucking holistically fucking treat your disease like Shauna Banda in Kansas and lose your fucking kid and be threatened with 37 years in fucking jail. The point is, have we lost our fucking minds to allow this shit to go on? Evidently so. And if we lost our minds, even more so, to allow it to continue. Problem is everybody wants the government to solve their fucking problems. And they refuse to see that the government has created 90% of their problems. How convenient. We're going to create your problem, and then we're going to create and enact a solution. Every American that owns a gun needs to just proudly display that son of a bitch from this day forward. And if you can't wear a pistol in public, a lot of states allow a long gun. Texas allows a long gun. Fuck, walk around with an AR-15 for a week. Ain't that gonna fucking turn some heads? One thing's for goddamn sure, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. You aren't gonna end up at 1 in 50. I don't even give a fuck if it's got a clip. You could take the bolt carrier out of the motherfucker. Just the visual image of such an evil fucking gun that's killed so fucking many people is gonna scare everybody the fuck away from them. They're gonna know you're not the sheep. And for all you Texans that want to buy Greg Abbott's bullshit, bitching about the Constitution and the fucking courts and judges and the federal government going against it, bullshit. He hadn't enacted constitutional carry. He's prevented it. He refuses it. Why? He would rather sell you a concealed carry permit, and he would rather decide who gets to carry a gun or not. When he's probably one of the most protected fucking people in the world. So when are we all going to get tired of this double and triple standard bullshit? There's a level of protection and there's a level of entitlement that is up here for our politicians, our fucking rich people, our corporations. There are no protections in place for the small people, for the individuals. Doesn't matter what race, what religion, what orientation, doesn't matter. When are you going to quit tolerating that inequality? And that inequality isn't coming from wealth or money, people. There's no democratic system that's going to tax our way out of that fucking problem. There's no Republican way of saying we're going to minimize government and we're going to give more rights to people and free trade and capitalism. It's not going to fix it. It's going to start on the individual level. You got to fix it yourself, be responsible for yourself, and demand everyone around you is responsible for themselves, and work your way up. Continuing down this path that we're on, expecting the federal government to know who's coming in this country and to know who they really are and to know who its citizens are and what they're going to do, that is horseshit. How many of you don't even know what your own goddamn kids are doing? Don't even know what your own kid likes to do. But you got an expectation that some fucking government agency is going to know what 330 million people are going to do? And you think bombing the fuck out of foreign countries and killing people and sending billions and trillions of dollars of killing people overseas is protecting us here? That's fucking delusional. That's fucking psychotic. What we are doing as a country to fucking people overseas daily is no different than what this kid did in that bar last night. But see, because the government's doing it, it's okay. I'm here to tell you people, there is a boogeyman out there. There is a boogeyman under your bed. There is a boogeyman in your TV set and in your phone. It's It's the federal fucking government. But that fucking boogeyman couldn't fucking prevent what happened. And it's happening so often, and the same type of shit. And it seems now we've got 2 mass shootings with 2, or actually 3, Muslim shooters, right? What the fuck? They're trying to scare people. So, it's time to wake up and hold people accountable. And honestly, I think it's time that every American that believes in owning a gun needs to tell their politicians, their police officers, anybody that gives them shit, say, I don't have time to wait for you if something happens. I'm going to take care of me. And if I see somebody next to me that needs help, I'm going to help them. And if that means that I got a 45 on my side, or you do, or if you're going to carry your AR-15, shit, they've got you convinced that AR-15s are like a Ouija board, like a teleport to fucking hell. Ouija boards and AR-15s don't even need a human being touching them. They fucking kill people. They kill people. Right. Well, why don't the manufacturers recall every AR-15 out there and say they're defective because they're not killing enough people? Because for every one the media wants to fucking blow off at the mouth about killing 15, 20, 30, 50, 60, 100 people, god damn, that must be 1 in 5 million fucking guns. State of fucking Michigan and Flint, Michigan killed more people than goddamn every mass shooting in this fucking country. But it's going to be a slow, debilitating death from all the lead poisoning. Hillary Clinton has a higher body count than any mass killer in this country's history. 90 plus bodies. But she's never been arrested, never been indicted, never been charged. Or maybe she was, maybe they accidentally hit the delete button, I don't know. But she's gonna be your next president. Are you fucking morons that fucking dumb on the left? The shit that we're going through right now as a country, and the shit that we're focused on people, it scares me as a person that people are not fucking realizing, or at least a large percentage are not realizing what's going on. That's all I gotta say.